Part 12 on the 820. So, up next for things to do is to replace the gasket behind the fuel filter assembly. Hopefully that'll solve my problem. I have already disconnected the diesel line. I have also roughly figured out that I think with a little bit of work and rebending, I can run the fuel line behind the clutch there in this area right here, to where it'll come out here and go directly into the fuel filter housing. The line was pretty empty. So anyway, certainly this is going to take a little bit. What I'll do is I'll get set up. I have to remove this cap screw, these two cap screws under there, and then that nut right in there. You probably can't see it because of the bad lighting. And I'll go ahead and take the sediment bowl off, strictly because I don't want to break a sediment bowl. I'll probably also go ahead and take the filters off, take the two regular filters off, strictly because I'm going to replace them anyway. I figure if I'm disturbing that much of the fuel system, I might as well get in there and replace them. I have the two replacement filters. They're right here with all the parts that I need. Let's see here. Protractor, got all of the gaskets and whatnot. Comes with a little sheet. I can tell these are pretty old because it says revised in December of '73. So I would assume this package is probably from the 70s or 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I don't think it's from. It's got just the two-legged leaping deer on it, so it doesn't have the upward leaping deer. And based on the dust on the packaging, it's certainly not new. And how crusty the box was, and how yellow this piece of paper was. So I'll get that changed as well. I'll get both of those changed. But let me get the camera set up, and I'll come back and I'll drain the fuel system and take everything off of it, or take that whole assembly off and see what we've got. Okay, I've got the sediment bowl off, and I've got all the wrenches that I need up here. So hopefully I can take this off without much fuss. That's the plan anyway. I've already loosened up a couple of these because I had to figure out which wrench I need to do what. I'm not really happy with this cap screw right here because it's pretty banged up. So it kind of makes me a little nervous, but you can kind of see how that screw or that bolt's a little banged up. I guess just from people taking it apart over the years. I don't think I need to take these bolts out. I probably should take the bottom ones out and go ahead and take the canisters off. Maybe. I have no earthly idea how long these filters have been on there, obviously, since I just bought the tractor, but or how heavy they're going to be. So this should be a little bit of an adventure, probably more than I care for it to be, but it happens. Assume eventually you can, oh, you gotta take, okay, I see now. You gotta take those top screws off. So you can just go ahead and take these bottom ones off. You should be able to get there eventually. Okay. Alright, so I guess next I'm going to go ahead and take these filters off. Simply because it might make it a little easier for me. Because if it makes it a little easier for me, I've just got them draining into a bucket right here underneath the filter assembly. I assume that's, or are these screw-on filters? Maybe they're screw-on filters. I don't know. Maybe I might just put the bolt back in there. And I will wait till I have the whole housing off. So, back to taking just the housing off. Wait, all the diesel off my hands here. I figured those bolts were holding the filters in, unless the filters are just being held in by sheer luck and they're fixing to fall off and make a complete and absolute utter mess. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But hopefully it's not the case. If it is, oh well. As long as I don't damage anything, we should be good. One thing I have found that I like about this tractor is the fact that I can basically work on it with just a set of wrenches. Sockets are helpful in a couple places and whatnot, but for the most part, wrenches are all I need to take this thing apart and work on it. So it's kind of nice, to be honest. Get my hands in here. So this is the top bolt. There's a stud right here. I would pick up the camera to show you, but now the camera would be covered in diesel. So okay. Now the last one is the bottom stud. And looks like somebody's painted over it, so that always makes life fun and enjoyable. I guess whenever they did the restoration or the repaint, they decided they just wanted to paint over the stud. So that's what really aggravates me when I go to tractor shows, and I'm not putting anybody down. When I go to tractor shows and I see tractors that, really nice machines, and you walk up to them and you start looking at them and you realize that, they haven't even taken the filters off to paint them, and then they really didn't do a good job to clean stuff. It's just always really disappointing. It would have taken, 2 or 3 more hours to properly remove the filters and mask off some lines and stuff. Instead, people just, they just go full bore on painting, and they'll just take a, like this one. Let me see if I can get my hand clean. This is a separate tangent, but like on this tractor right here, because you can see it right now. Look at the gray paint on the brake drum, and all that was somebody primed it, and then the brake drum was turned over the wrong way, and let me get it set back up here. It was set up, it was facing away and nobody ever came back to paint it. That's just kind of sad. So let's see if we can get this whole assembly off here without ruining something. Should be everything. All right, let me go get a rubber mallet. Oh no, I got a rubber mallet. Great. See if I can't gently coax it off. I don't want to hit anything too hard here. Something just hard enough to break the suction, hopefully. Okay, so I am going to work on this. I'll go ahead and turn the camera off since this looks like it's going to take me a little bit to figure out. Normally what happens is right after I turn the camera off, I get it figured out. But I'm wondering if there's not another bolt somewhere that I'm missing, like behind here or something. I didn't see one in the parts diagram. I don't see one up there. But you've got these studs up here and studs down there that all have to come apart. So there's probably a lot holding this assembly on there. So I'm going to go get a pry bar and work on it. So I'll come back when I've got it a little bit loose.